It can take you out of despair, the right type of music. That's why I think it's important to sing about God's goodness and His grace and His favour in your life. Music is important when it's actually linked to the right experience, which is God in your life. Then it can take you higher than you've ever been before in your relationship and with your walk with Christ. It's about unity, it's about togetherness, and it's about a common goal. We're enriched ourselves by the act of worship. We receive strength to go forward, and it's very important to do that.
Today, friends, we're having the discussion group in the sukkah, in the hut, because today is obviously the festival of Sukkot. It's the festival of the tabernacles.
It symbolises that when the Jewish people came out of Egypt and wandered for 40 years in the wilderness from the time they went to Egypt to the promised land Israel, the time of Moses, after the 10 plagues and everything, they had a protective cloud that was with them the whole time. And also they lived in temporary accommodation during that time because they were wandering through the wilderness. They didn't have a sense of permanence in any one place. So therefore that's symbolised through that. Not having a proper roof, only having branches and leaves, a temporary dwelling place.
And before we begin the discussion, we're actually going to shake the lulav and etrog. We're going to shake the alba minim, the 4 species, before we get down to our discussion. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Kiddushanu B'mitzvotav V'tzivanu Al Netilat Lulav. Amen.
Yeah.
Every place of worship has what we call a Nishan Sahib, which is a flag mast covered traditionally in orange cloth. This is a sign to say that there is a God's place where one can get help in the way of food and also rest if one wants it. The flag masts are usually fairly tall so that they are visible from a long distance. In our case, the flag mast is actually on top of the roof. And twice a year, every year, we pull the mast down and we take the old covering off and dress it with a new covering. This is called the Chola Sahib. There is a ritual that has to be followed. What we do is wash the flag post, flag mast, with yogurt. And then dry it properly, and then dress it with a fresh, new orange cloth, and hoist the mast up again. That is the ceremony that is performed twice a year in this Gurdwara. We choose 5 elders from the community who perform the function. In some Gurdwaras, it's the whole congregation that gets involved, but we have a slightly different method of doing it because we feel it is a little bit more sacred and more organized. And we have 5 elders from the community. But they'll be different next time. So we give everybody a chance to perform that bit of seva. Yeah.
Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dhammaya, Namo Sanghaya, Namo Namah, Om Ahom. We would learn to meditate with one of 2 practices, as you said, the loving kindness meditation, the metta bhavana, or with a meditation which focuses on the breath, which uses the breath as an anchor. And we're learning to meditate, with this body, with these sensations, feelings, thoughts, emotions, whatever's actually present. Just learning to be aware of those. So when we're learning, when we're practicing, it's not a thing that one does at the beginning. That's simply what we're trying to do, is to be aware in each moment. And there are lots of different ways of doing that. If you're using the breath as a focus for meditation, you would bring your awareness to the breath, stay with the breath, explore the breath. Your mind would wander off and you would just very patiently bring it back. Your mind would wander off again, you'd patiently bring it back. And you'd be aware of what was happening, so you'd be aware of the sensations, you'd be aware of being caught up in feelings of anger, and that's what's drawing your mind away. And you're not trying to block anything out, you're not trying to get rid of anything, but perhaps just allowing the mind to settle more and more with the breath so that other things going on become clearer. We say that meditation is a way of creating conditions for insight to arise. So maybe what one is doing is working to develop a mind that's stable enough to see clearly. And what we see, depends on what is actually happening to us, what's around us.